Hello everyone, this is Vishwet Shah, working as a lecturer in the Department of Microbiology, Vijay Krishna Girls College for the past 13 years. And here we are discussing about a topic which is known as the plasmid incompatibility.
What is plasmid incompatibility? It is another conceptual part of plasmid. Incompatible. The term incompatible means two plasmids cannot be stably maintained within a single cell. If two plasmids cannot be stably maintained within a single cell, then we can say they are the incompatible. If two plasmids can be stably maintained, we can say they are the compatible. Okay. For example, according to this diagram, it starts with a cell that has both A plasmid and B plasmid. So these are two different plasmids. So after division, if we have a cell that has both A plasmid and B plasmid, so this is not the diagram actually. Okay. So say in a cell that have both A plasmid and B plasmid. So before this division, they must have two copies of the A, duplicate set of A and duplicate set of B plasmid definitely, so that whenever they are making two progeny, each of the progeny must have one copy of the A plasmid, one copy of the B plasmid. So that means if two plasmids, two defined plasmids, say F plasmid and Col plasmid, F plasmid and Col plasmids can be stably maintained within a single cell, and during subsequent generation you can see the two plasmids is stably present. Then they are said to be compatible. Compatible means two plasmids, two defined plasmids, two same not. It is a two different type of plasmid can be maintained within a single cell. But incompatible means if the two plasmids cannot be stably maintained, and as a result during division one plasmid may lost. If you start with a cell that have both A plasmid and B plasmid, after division you might see a cell that has only A plasmid, that is a devoid of B plasmid, or may have a cell that has only B plasmid, that is a devoid of A plasmid. This phenomenon is called the plasmid incompatibility. So pairs of closely related plasmid cannot be stably maintained in a progeny of a single cell, and these plasmids are said to be incompatible group. Same incompatible group. There must be some incompatible group, right? Say I am telling you the group 1, say you have group 1, group 2, group 3, something like that. Okay. So say group 1 contains 5 plasmids, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Group 2 contains say 3 plasmids, say A, B, C, and group 3 contains again 2 or 3 plasmids, say X, Y, Z. So this is the first incompatible group. This is another incompatible group, and this is the third incompatible group. By the term incompatible means if I make a cell that have two plasmids of the same group, say X and Y, they cannot be stably maintained. If I take two plasmids A and B, they cannot be stably maintained. If I take two plasmids, say 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 or maybe 4 and 5 within a single cell, they cannot be stably maintained, and that is why they are called same incompatible group. But if I take say number 1 from group 1 and taking A from the group 2, so they belongs to different incompatible group. They belongs to different incompatible group. In common terminology, they are compatible. So two plasmids can be compatible if they belongs to different incompatible group. Okay. So there must be some sort of group. You cannot take two plasmid from the same group. If we take two plasmid from the same group, they are incompatible. But if we take two plasmids from the two different group and put into a single cell, you can see the two plasmids are very much compatible. So why this phenomenon is happening? One plasmid cannot be stably maintained with another plasmid if they belong to the same group. and one plasmid can be stably maintained with that of the another plasmid if they belong to a different group. Why this phenomenon is happening? Plasmid incompatibility, the mechanism of plasmid incompatibility depends on two things. Okay, the first is repressor. Repressor protein. Once again, the repressor protein. You will hear the name repressor, in very much mechanism during plasmid copy number control or incompatibility or amplification, something like that. The term repressor is very much important. It's also in fertility inhibition. Repressor protein, how they make an important role during plasmid incompatibility. Consider this particular diagram. This is your parental cell. The parental cell have two defined plasmid A and B. Say the two plasmids are not compatible. That means they belong to the same group. A and B is coming from the same group. Before division, they must increase their number. They must increase their number in double. That means initially you have only one copy of A and one copy of B. Finally you have two copies of A and two copies of B before division. Okay. Finally you have two copies of the A and two copies of the B before division. So this can be done in two ways. First, I can increase the number of A double, and then we can increase the number of B in double. So now initially 1A, 1B was there. Now you have two copies of the A gene and one copies of the B gene. Initially the A is first replicated and then B is getting replicated. And this may happen in a second phenomena, that is first the B is getting replicated, so two copies of the B gene is there and one copy of the A gene is there, and then the A gene will be replicated to generate 2A and 2B. So this is the normal phenomena. But consider this second phenomena. After 2A 1B formation, we need to amplify the 1B so that we can have 1B to 2B. We can replicate the B plasmid, but now the plasmid and now the cell is somehow randomly replicating the plasmid. Randomly replicating. Random replicating means normally they must have 2A and 2B, but now they have a 3A and 1B. That means during second replication, they are making some wrong thing. They are replicating the A plasmid in triple times, triplicate. A plasmid is present in triplicate. 3 copies of the A plasmid is there, but the B plasmid remains as 1 copy. This is the one phenomena. And another phenomena is that if they are replicating the B plasmid, so that now the B plasmid, you have 3 copies of the B plasmid and 1 copy of the A plasmid. In that case, in both of these cases, say 3A and 1B, means from there when the cell is dividing, basically one cell will have the 1 copy of A and 1 copy of B, but other cell must have 1 copy of A and 1 copy of A. That means 2 copies of the A lacks any B gene, B plasmid. So in this way, this bacteria lost the B gene, and simultaneously here if you have 1A and 3B genes, in that case when the cell is getting divided, the two progeny cells must have the B copies of the plasmid 1B and 1A here, but the other cell must have 2 molecules of B, because only 1 molecule of A plasmid was there, so this A plasmid must be transferred to one of the 2 cells. Okay, so in this particular cell, this is a cell that lacks the A plasmid and this is a cell that lacks the B plasmid. So another phenomena may also happen. Say normally they divided, normally they have actually increasing their plasmid number, 2A 2B is happening, but during separation they are not forming 1A and 1B. This is the normal phenomena. 1A and 1B, this is the normal phenomena. This must happen. 2A 2B, from 2A 2B to 1A 1B, 1A 1B, this is the normal phenomena. But if abnormally they separates the two plasmids, so a cell carries only the A gene, A plasmid, and a cell carries only the B gene, then this is you can say this plasmid is this cell is devoid of B plasmid and this cell is devoid of A plasmid. So this particular mechanism actually explains the random selection of plasmid. This might be the first reason why the plasmid incompatibility may happen for some cells or some plasmids. The second phenomena that explains why this plasmid incompatibility is happening, why the two plasmid cannot be stably maintained within a cell, this actually phenomena depends on the repressor protein. Once again, the repressor protein. Say the two plasmid A and B plasmid have the same repressor gene. Point to be noted, this A plasmid and B plasmid have the same repressor gene. In that case, when A is getting replicated, say 2A and 1B, A is getting replicated, the repressor concentration increases, and that repressor concentration may prevent the replication of the B plasmid. This is a phenomena. Say you have a cell that have A plasmid, okay, and you are transferring the B plasmid from outside. You are transferring the B plasmid from outside because the two plasmid have the same kind of repressor gene. The repressor protein is already made available. The repressor protein will inhibit the replication of the B plasmid. Okay, so when the A plasmid is present in single copy, the repressor concentration is also nominal. But when the number of A increases from 1 to 2, in that case repressor concentration doubles, and if the same repressor works for the B gene, as a result the repressor actually prevent the B gene to be replicated, and as a result now you have a cell that may have 2 copies of the A gene, but the B gene is not getting replicated. As a result from this, whenever you are making 2 progeny, one cell will have A gene and B gene, other cell will have only A gene, not the B gene. So we can say the A and B genes are incompatible if the two plasmid have the same type of repressor protein. So if one repressor is getting adequate concentration, or if one repressor is present in adequate concentration in a cell, they will definitely act on the other plasmid to be replicated. As a result, the other plasmid cannot be stably maintained within a cell. So these two phenomena explains, number one, incompatibility is a result of two plasmids have the similar type of repressor that has been explained now, and the random selection of plasmid for the DNA replication that is explained in this particular diagram. Random selection of plasmid. This may happen. This is a chance factor. You can have this pathway, you can have this pathway, you can have normal pathway. Normal pathway means not plasmid compatibility, and if you have this pathway, the cell can have any of this pathway, and as a result random selection of plasmid results in the formation of plasmid incompatibility. But apart from these 2 points, among these 2 points, the repressor model is a very vital point, that if one plasmid have the repressor gene and the repressor protein acts on the other plasmid, as a result the first plasmid which is already present in a cell, they have amplified, they have increased their copy number, and as a result they have already made their repressor protein. So whenever you are transferring a second plasmid into the cell, the second plasmid will not getting replicated and will lost in subsequent cell division. This is all about plasmid incompatibility.